Oh shit, it's still going. My phone. All right. Welcome everyone to Yeast Happy. Think about the name for a moment. We were just getting over Hop Happy. So welcome to Yeast Happy Wednesday. It is a time for us to talk about yeast and be nerds, beer nerds. So we got Bumpy Road Brewery here. Thank you so much, man. As always, welcome. And Ronnie might show up. Maybe Brian will show up. We'll see. But thank you for the chat who's already showed up here, and we'll, I'm sure, see some more people pop on in. So thank you very much, Urbex and STD. What's up? What's up, guys? What's up? All right. So let's go ahead and bring this up. We're gonna real quick. We're gonna So today is an IPA anything kind of day. I designated it as an IPA day. We talk about yeasts that are gonna go in. Whatever, your beer might say what yeast it is, your beer may not. You can go through the style, you can generalize it, or you can talk about the yeast that's actually in the beer that the brewer discusses on the can or on their website or wherever the hell. So we're going to talk about that. Let's go ahead and get Bumpy up here. All right.
Hello, hello. Well, the beer that I'm bringing, this comes from Oddball Brewing Company. They are in Suncook, New Hampshire, which is just down the hill from me. They're about a mile away from my house, so very local. This is their Albino Moose IPA. It comes in at 6.7% ABV, and basically an albino moose is a rarity. So that's what they kind of did with this beer. They're using New Zealand hops in it and stuff like that, but then they also combine it with Belgian yeast. And also rye.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so a little bit of rye in this one too. It's like a hybrid of everything.
Nice. Hell yeah.
But for I looked up the Belgian IPA. This one wouldn't actually meet like a Belgian IPA style based off BJCP. BJCP recognizes Belgian IPAs as brewed by Belgian in a traditional fashion. If they did like a tripel or something like that, and then they just heavily hopped it, those are what they actually consider like a Belgian style IPA versus an American IPA that just has Belgian yeast. But I did look up the Belgian yeast for a Belgian IPA, and what it basically says for the aromas, should be looking for fruity esters of apples, bananas, and pear. Can be moderately high with those notes. And then the clove-like phenols, so that kind of spicy cloviness will kind of stay on the light end. So it seems like they probably fermented at a higher fermentation or whatnot to keep out some of the cloviness and allow more of the fruits to shine through. It says exactly the same thing for the taste. It should be...
Hello?
It's a hello.
Oh, sorry. Oh, my bad. Sorry, Bumpy. I didn't mean
Oh,
to
no problem.
interrupt you. Yeah, go ahead. I don't know what that was. My bad. Okay. Sorry.
Although in the taste, it does say the bitterness can be quite high, and it may be further heightened by the spiciness contributed by the Belgian yeast. So where does it say the taste? The Belgian yeast often contributes an initial flavor of spice and esters, spicy and clove-like, along with esters of banana, apple, and pear. So it's kind of saying I should probably get the spiciness from the yeast and the flavor, but in the aromas, it should be more apple, pear, and banana-like versus spicy clove-like. That's what I'm kind of picking up out of what I was looking at there anyways. So let's go ahead and pour this beer. It is, I think I said it, 6.7% ABV. Don't know how old it is. Pours with a very tight, white bubbled, frothy head. Color of the beer itself is a it's like a gold, straw gold coloration. It's clear. Some aromas. So yeah, there is a lot of actual apple and pear type notes. First thing I kind of get. There is a little bit of like an herbal spicy thing going on, but they also use rye in this, so I'm not sure if that could be coming from the rye versus the actual yeast. There's a slight hint of banana. It's kind of like Laffy Taffy banana versus like a banana that a banana. It's more of like an artificial almost smell, but it's very, very light. So it does have pretty much all the notes. It starts off with that kind of apple to pear type note. I'm getting some kind of herbal spiciness. Not sure if it's from the yeast or not. And then there is a slight candied like banana.
Nice.
And then New Zealand hops in this, so probably expecting some type of tropical fruit notes also to be mixed in with all that. So, although none of this smells as though it's hopped for aroma. It does smell more like it's just coming from the yeast. So,
nice.
I'm not getting pineapple, mango, or grapefruit, nothing like that. All right, cheers.
Cool, man. Yeah, they kept it to cheers, man. So they kept it kind of on the Belgian scale, kind of balance it out with that whole that funk, somewhat of the funk, I guess. That's cool. That sounded good, actually. Cool, man. All right, thank you, Bumpy. So today I got a West Coast IPA. Kind of glad we both have two different worlds here. Let's say two different sides of it. So add three different yeasts come up with this. Of course, there's a dry one, and which is the USO5, the After USO5, and the White Labs California Ale Yeast and the American Ale Y Yeast are three of the common ones. But they say here first on homebrewersassociation.org, as with any beer, just from a Google search real quick, healthy yeast that is appropriate to the style is crucial. A highly attenuative and clean fermenting strain is ideal for this particular style of beer. American IPA, West Coast IPA style, even East Coast. East Coast would probably be using more of a English style yeast, probably, or something like that on that line. Not as attenuative. These are a little more clean fermenting. Yeah, just real nice. So I like Y yeast. I'm going to go with what they say. Theirs is a very clean, crisp flavor characteristics with low fruitiness and mild ester production. A very versatile yeast for styles that desire dominant malt and hop character. This strain makes a wonderful house strain. A mild citrus notes develop with cooler 60 to 66 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 to 19 Celsius fermentations. Normally requires filtration for the bright beer. Metric temperature range 15 to 22 Celsius. So the flocculation is low to medium when they are full and start to drop. The 73 to 77 attenuation rate, and 60 to 72 degrees is the temperature range you want to ferment this in. All right, so American Pale Ales, American Amber Ales, good for American Brown, American IPA, Double IPA, and so on. You name it. All the specialties as well. Can you even use this in? No, you wouldn't be able to use this in what you had, Bumpy. Well, yeah, the white IPA, that's a wheat. That's a wheat. Belgian, they say you can. You can use this for a Belgian style white IPA as well. So. You probably wouldn't get the Belgian-esque like feel to it, I don't think, unless you added spices to it, like coriander, I guess, or some other weird shit. But for the most part. But let's go ahead and let's open this up. I just opened one actually, Deadlift from Widmer Brothers. But I wanted to go over this because I haven't done it in a while. I don't think I've even reviewed it. It's one I always go to. It's Apocalypse IPA. I'm sure most people on this side of the hemisphere have seen this. Where I live, they are. I don't know how far they distribute. 6.8% was best before June 21st or June 18th, 21. So it's a fairly old beer, kind of. It's probably about 5 months old, maybe 4.5 months old, because I usually go 6 months, I think. Yeah, it's a West Coast IPA. It's an awesome beer, actually, but we'll go over it, see if we can get any. I'm sure it does have quite. I mean, the hops are kind of overpowering. You don't really get a whole lot of yeasty, but let's taste it. All right. Piney is a big thing in this as well. All right, so it's got a lot of floaties in there. So a finger head, middle finger head, middle fruit head. All right. Sorry, Paul. All right, let's smell this. Yeah, there's like a candied like hop or something, a candied orange or something with that hoppy aroma, that dankness. It's got the pine in there. It's got a nice bready malt. I don't really get like the yeastiness. It is more than likely using a very clean yeast. I'm giving you a very clean beer. So you're not really you're accentuating more on the hops and everything except instead of the yeast and stuff. It's nice. Yeah, that's really hoppy. I didn't realize how hoppy it smelled. It's a nice golden color, nice dark, deep, darker gold. It's got floaties in there. It's got a medium fast rising bubble. Yeah, it's a bit hazy, chill hazy, and lacing over the top there. Nice foamy head. All right, cool. Let's drink this. Cheers.
Cheers.
Citrusy, orange, lemon, citrus. It has a pretty pointy, accelerated carbonation. Pretty medium fast. There's an eyelash in my bubbles. It's nice though. It's got a nice citrusy feel to it. The pine and the grapefruit has a grapefruit rind as well in the back and the finish. Kind of resides all around the tonsils in the back of your throat. Dries off at a medium finish. Good dry off. Let you taste a lot of that robust hoppiness. It's really nice. 6.8 though. It's got a nice body to it. Nice medium body. The mouthfeel is just, like I said, kind of accelerated, but kind of dies off and gets a little more on the creamy side and relaxed side. It's real nice. Bready, hoppy, dank. Can't taste any of the alcohol. The yeast, bright, just like a bright, citrusy kind of refreshing beer. Very clean. You can tell they obviously used, something that worked well for this particular style. So, yeah, very happy with this. This is a go-to for me. Yeah, let's go ahead and go to this again and kind of discuss your beer and all that stuff. Go ahead and shout yourself out too, unless we see some other people come in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flavors in this one, I mean, it's got a very light, like, bread note to it. There's like a slight apple. And then I would say it just kind of goes into this bitterness, kind of like there's a bit of spiciness that could be from some of the rye, but it's like kind of spicy. With quite a heavy amount of bitterness for the finish in this one. I would say kind of piney. So the flavor notes that they're saying on the can, because they're saying you should be getting peach, stone fruit, and pineapple. I don't get that in this, but like I said, I don't know how old this beer is either. It could be ancient. It could have been brewed last year for all I know. Right. And I just poured a big glop of Belgian yeast into my glass. from it. Where do I stand with this one?
Oh, it had sediment on the bottom then? A good amount
Yeah,
of
I
that?
just poured. Yeah, it's not clear anymore. Now it's very
Nice.
murky.
I didn't even check that on mine. There's none on mine. Welcome, Ronnie.
Hey, what's up?
Cheers.
Yeah, it's kind of a refreshing IPA, I would say. I think the bitterness is a bit much at the tail, but I don't know. It doesn't give off super harsh flavors. I guess for the bitterness, it's just pretty damn high.
Excuse me.
I don't know. I'd probably put this IPA. It's interesting enough with some of the notes I was getting out of it, but like I said, a lot of it didn't seem to really be coming from the hops. It seemed more like the yeast notes that they talked about.
You're more on the yeasty side, yeah.
The hops in this just seem to really just be the bittering aspect. They didn't seem to really follow through with the flavors and stuff, the aromas. So I think that this beer was probably meant to be better than what it is. Maybe it was at one point. And like I said, I don't know how aged this one is. Probably give this, I guess, as this beer is, probably land it right around an 85 out of 100.
Nice.
It's drinkable, but it's not something like I'd be like, oh, you got to go try this.
Right.
There's nothing too spectacular about it. Interesting aroma notes there, getting apple, pear, and some of the other notes. A little bit of that kind of Laffy Taffy banana. The aromas I think were better than what the flavor profile is on it. And like this smells more like a Tripel than it does an IPA. But then like when you drink it, it's just super bitter, and it doesn't have a ton of flavors to it. It's just kind of like maybe a little bit of apple, like it's a slight bread, and then bitter.
Wow.
Kind of piney. I would say on the piney to zesty side. Shout outs. Waiting on 8 o'clock tonight. Not really waiting on it, I'm not working, and I don't want time to fly by, but there's always things that are happening. So at 8 o'clock tonight is when the poll comes down for the next Multi Monday, so we'll know. So get out and vote on that. You have another basically like an hour and a half. So that you can find on Beer Man's community page. It's also in the last Multi Monday that we did, which was the American Wheat Ale. So it's in the description. You just click on the description thing there and find the poll. And then we'll find out what the next Multi Monday beer is going to be after that. Other than that, Sunday is After Dark Beers. Starts at 8 p.m. Just bring a dark beer, and you're welcome up on panel. And yay! Not really much else to discuss. Normal videos coming out kind of when they're coming out. So.
Well, cool, man. What's in the lead right now? I haven't even looked at it.
Last I checked, it was the chili beers, which is any beer that is that has hot peppers in it, basically.
Okay. Cool.
So it can be any style. It can be a stout. It can be a lager. It can be an IPA. As long as it has like some type of hot pepper.
Cool. I think that can be done if it wins. Yeah. Cool, man. Thank you. So we'll what did you score yours at again real quick? 85.
Yeah, 85.
85. Okay, still a decent beer though. All right, cool. All right, Ronnie, I'm gonna just go back over to this and we'll just do that again. Yeah, that works.
All right.
Cool.
I
Welcome, Ronnie.
brought this that I had last night. So
right on.
I did do some research on it a little bit. I'm not as good at this as you guys are, but I found out that the main or one of the biggest yeast strains that go into West Coast IPAs are it's called the Chico yeast. which is actually the one that Sierra Nevada uses, and it's not only used by Sierra Nevada. Have you ever heard of that? Chico yeast?
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the American Ale 1 yeast.
Is it okay?
And then I think it actually came somehow from Valentine. Originally used it on the West Coast, and then it got over to Sierra Nevada somehow. So I couldn't find like exactly what this particular beer uses as far as yeast anywhere online, but maybe it uses that Chico yeast. Maybe they use it for all of Sierra Nevada. I don't know. But I thought that was kind of interesting. What do you think, Bumpy? Is that possible?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
it was something that Sierra Nevada used a lot and stuff. So
Seems like all their beers taste the same. Not theirs, but like Lagunitas, like they all have like similar flavor profiles, and I think a lot of it might even be from the yeast that they use, like their house yeast, like the Pac-Man yeast and Rogue, stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, that's just my opinion. But go ahead.
I think the Pac-Man yeast is probably the same thing too. As the Chico, I think they just called it something else. But
oh wow,
I think it's all like that American ale yeast where it's a very clean profile. It doesn't give off a lot of esters.
Right. Okay.
Is that the Y yeast? The W yeast?
Y yeast, yeah.
So it says it's Y yeast ale, American Ale 1056.
Yeah.
And Chico refers to the hometown of Sierra Nevada Brewing Company from which the strain is said to have sourced. That's what I got today as my story.
Interesting, though. I didn't know that. It's good. I'm glad you brought that up. That's good.
Yeah, I guess it worked out.
And I'm glad I didn't lie to people.
Now, this is a great beer. It's I reviewed this yesterday, but it's an Imperial IPA, 9%. It has, I looked on the website, I saw the IBUs and everything. It has, I believe, 45 IBUs, and it's like 240 something calories. So it's like a pretty big beer as far as that goes. But I like it. It's very easygoing beer for the alcohol percentage, and it's tasty. It's I wouldn't want to have too many. Like I said yesterday, it's 9%. Doesn't really taste like it, so you can kind of throw these back. It'll catch up to you.
Oh.
But as long as you know, but it's like so small in the can, it's like you can't really even notice it if you weren't looking. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did I give this as a grade yesterday without the cheese? I think it was like a 95. Which I would.
Yeah, I know you were up in the 90s.
Yeah. So I'll stick with that grade.
95.
It's a good one.
Nice. Cool, man. Do you have anything that you want to share with anyone?
Nah. I mean, I shouted out the Wednesday shows last night, so I'm going to be joining Ron's what's it called? Newcastle Brown Ale.
Yes,
review.
me too.
Are you doing that? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I went and bought a 6-pack.
Did you buy a 6-pack?
Yep. I looked for a single and they didn't have any. I was like, damn it.
I went to a small shop and they didn't even sell singles, so I just bought the 6-pack. I probably could have got a single at Total Wine.
I'm glad they had the 6-pack though, because I didn't want to buy a 12-pack for sure.
Oh yeah. I probably could have got a single at Total Wine, but it would have been warm, and I didn't really have time to.
They are.
I don't know. Maybe I could have put it in the fridge. Yeah, for the most part, they are. They have coolers, but
they do.
Not many though. It's only like 4.
Huh. Well, that's yeah. Forgot what I was gonna say. Damn it! I hate that. Anyway, well, cool. Thanks, Ronnie. I appreciate it. I appreciate you bringing that up. That I learned something tonight. I didn't know that. I had no idea.
Good. I'm glad I could contribute something.
I
was listening to you guys before I got on, and I was I was kind of blown away by what you were talking about. I got to learn more about this yeast stuff.
It's what we that's why we're here. Teach people that are interested, that are even for the reviewer. You know,
It's kind of hard to research though. They don't. They're always talking about the hops and the malts. They don't really talk about yeast.
Nah, they don't. They don't, and it's usually like a hidden thing. A lot of them want to like not talk about it or whatever. But I mean, for the most part, you can figure it out. You know,
the one way you can really tell like what the yeast is doing. I mean, besides like Belgian or like a wild strain, you know, that's gonna dominate in the aromas and flavors. A lot of the yeast kind of you don't even really know it's there or what it's doing. But if you brew the same exact beer, and this is something beer man once you get into brewing, again, I should say.
Yeah.
You can brew the exact same, like brew an IPA, use the exact same hop, same malt bill, just change your yeast. Use like the American Ale 1, which is the Chico strain, which is a very clean profile. Then you use the American Ale 2, which gives off fruity esters. You know, you get like apple and pear and stuff out of the yeast, and just see if there's a difference in the way the beer smells and tastes. I mean, you're going to have some differences because attenuation and just flocculation, everything that different strains do, but that's how you can actually see it.
What is flocculation?
It's when it all gathers up and falls out.
When it's full.
That's where the sediment comes from?
That's like when it clears and stuff, yeah.
So if you have sediment, that's where it would come from originally?
Yeah, well, like a low flocculating strain will stay in suspension a lot longer. So if you want to clear beer right off the bat, you kind of have to like just let it keep going until it finally falls out. But when they flocculate, what they do is they join together in big clumps, and then they get heavy and they sink to the bottom. And they
That's
go to
funny. Slumber party, dude. Oh yeah, man. But they're not dead for the most part. Not all of them anyway, right? I mean, you can bring them back to life.
Mostly they just go into like a hibernation.
Right.
When they die, that's bad because that, you know, then they decompose actually. And you get some real off flavor. So if you have like a beer that you're fermenting forever and you actually have decomposing yeast, you'll get some like egg sulfur type notes.
What would we do without Bumpy, man? Seriously.
Yeah, he is really smart.
Him and Brian both, man. They're like freaking whizzes. No, it's good to have them up here. Cool, man. Yeah, well, so real quick on this, not real quick, it's only 20 minutes in here. But yeah, this beer is good. You know, it's a go-to. I don't know how far they distribute again, but it's good. It's hoppy, it's citrusy, it's got like a hardcore pineapple or a piney grapefruit edge in the back, nice dryness, nice mouthfeel, very drinkable, a very good beer. I mean, I would give this like a 93 out of 100 just as a go-to. It's not like a perfect beer, but it's definitely something that's decent, and like I'd buy it all the time. So I'm not wasting my money when I buy it, and neither would you. So if you like these kind of beers. But it seems like the yeast worked very well with this. It's got a lot of the same profiles that the yeast that it says the yeast does, you know, for this particular style. I don't know what they used. They don't say it, you know, that's their secret, but it's definitely using a clean yeast because there's no sediment. It's just totally attenuated and good. So 6.8%, very good beer. And shout outs for me are just, the same usual shit. Beer and cheese is just it's actually a fondue. I did go buy a fondue cheese pack. So I'm gonna have to go get the white wine and the garlic and all that to mix in with it to melt it and do all that. They had one that was pre-made, but it was $11. I was like, screw that, dude. But that's too expensive. So compared to $6. But I guess you gotta buy the wine and all that too. It's gonna add up anyhow. I might as well have just gotten the $11 fondue.
What type of beer you think goes good with fondue?
I'm almost saying an IPA or something, just something on that level.
Any beer you can do with a fondue.
Right. A blonde. Yeah, like yeah, dude.
One thing I wanted to add about
A
this
cold would
beer
be really good with a fondue. A pilsner.
with this one here, it's a West Coast, and I'm not like a huge fan of West Coast IPAs. I kind of prefer the East Coast flavor, but this one, it doesn't have that like bitterness taste to it, and it's strong. It has a 9%. The flavors are not very, very like pronounced, and the bitterness is barely there, which for me, I like that.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you ever had the hazy little thing, which is I think that one's only like 5% or 6% around there. It's like that, but it's just better because I kind of found that one to be bland tasting, and then this one has more flavor to it, but it's nothing like jumping off the charts. And I just wanted to mention the fact that it's not bitter like a typical West Coast beer is, and you still get the alcohol content in it.
Nice.
So I like it better than the hazy little thing, which I found kind of bland.
I haven't had any of
Not
those.
that hazy. Yeah. Have you had that one?
Yeah, I've had a hazy little thing.
It's kind of just like a typical pale ale, right?
Yeah, it's the West Coast trying to do like a New England IPA, but they call them hazies because they know they can't do it. I don't know. That's just kind of what there's a few of them. I think Monkish or something like that out there in California region. They can do
Monkless?
good.
Monkish. Yeah, Monkish.
Is it? I think it's Monkish.
Yeah,
I've heard that I hear that they do some outstanding New England IPAs.
Nice.
But
they're not easy to find outside of New England. They're trying to do them here in Florida, and they're just not the same.
Yeah.
I've seen some come out of Canada.
They do more westy style hazies out here. It's more piney forward, more grapefruit forward.
Using the sea hops still.
Yeah, yeah. But they do have some very good brewers out here that make some very good New England IPAs. I've had even up Fort George where I am at. Their three-way is a pretty good NEPA. They're gonna have like 2 others coming out this year, I think, different variations. But yeah, that was really good. Damn. So yeah, we're learning, right, all around the fucking world.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, cool, man. We'll go ahead and cut this off. Appreciate everyone. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Bumpy. Thank you, Ronnie.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks, chat. Kyle, STD, Stony. What's up, man? Urbex from Germany. Hell yeah. We'll go ahead and end this. Let's end this. Where is my outro? Damn it.
Cheers.
Cheers. Or wait, let me take that off and do this and do that. We'll just go with this one. How about it?